Clearly.
No. It sounds very much like Oz. You know, it really isn't too much
Hey,
different.
hey, excuse me, guys. All right, welcome everyone to Beyond Satanic number 7. Sorry about that. I was late on my way from Suicide Squad. So there's that.
All right, cool. Did- real one quick question before we get started. Did Will Smith the role?
Uh, he did his job. So there's
Okay,
that.
cool. That's all I like to hear.
All
Will
Yeah,
Smith like
right.
to mess it up.
and
Go ahead,
the
Ray.
Joker, like he's a recurring character in that movie. So there's that.
All
All right.
right.
Do you want to finish this conversation on air or?
Go ahead. Definitely, man.
Sure, I mean I don't give a fuck. What are you talking about?
Okay, so we were talking about Christianity. So,
Okay.
this is going to be a little impromptu debate, I guess.
I was winning.
But what I was talking about is I'm not kept up at night worried about whether or not someone has self-esteem. I'm not kept up at night worried about whether or not I have self-esteem.
I agree with you
Here's the
there.
here's the question. What?
I say I agree with you there.
Okay, yeah, so I'm kept up at night worried about whether or not someone is saved or lost. Here's the thing. We are all born sinners. We are all born sinners.
According to your faith-based belief. According to
No,
your Bible.
according to the Bible. According to the Bible,
According
yes.
to your faith, according to your religion, right?
According to the Bible, yes.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure you got it straight.
Okay, so according to the Bible, we are all born totally depraved. So here's the thing. You were telling me that you feel better as a person. You're not as homophobic. You're not everything else. So so I
That
hate
that
I hate
to
Christian.
clarify. I'm sorry, Wyatt. To clarify, I don't want to. I just want to be clear. That's not a blanket statement to all Christians. That was just how I was as a Christian.
Okay. Well, okay. So to clarify, I agree that not all Christians are homophobic. I'm not homophobic because I disagree with the two
You
root
disagree
words.
with your
But
Bible. You disagree with your Bible. That's okay. A lot of us do.
no, I don't disagree with the Bible. I disagree with the two words homo and phobic. I'm not scared
No,
of homo. I'm not scared of
no,
saying so.
it goes against that part of the
Okay.
Bible rubs you the wrong way, doesn't it?
Okay, I got a
It really
question. I got
doesn't.
a question. So, what's your position on homosexuality, on being gay?
Well, it's a sin. It's a sin. The Bible
Okay.
says it's a sin, so I agree with
So,
it's a sin.
so what?
I'm not scared of homosexuals, but and if it weren't for the grace of God, that will probably be me. This is what 1 Corinthians chapter 15 actually says. Such were some of us. See, it says, no, you're not you're not all these different people, liars, fornicators, abusers of themselves with mankind, talking about homosexuals, uh, and all these people, and it concludes with the phrase, such were some of us. So if it weren't for the grace of God in my life, that would probably be me. I'm not saying that I would probably be a homosexual if I wasn't saved. I'm saying apart from the grace of God, I would be in the exact position, the
I got a
same
question. I got a question
position.
for you. You ever heard of a guy by the name of Milo Yiannopoulos?
No.
Okay, that's cool. He's a bit of a case study in the sense that he's a gay British writer for Breitbart and an evangelical Christian. So you think that's possible that that could exist? A person who's gay and a devout Christian, he even dumps on himself for having gay tendencies and stuff like that, but he still does it. So what do you think of that?
Okay. Okay.
Tony, you
You're
got
fine,
mute.
Tony.
The background noise.
Okay.
You
Sorry about that.
you
I'm in the
probably will
store
have
right
to
now.
resort to your Bible, right?
No, I
Well,
just want I just want a legitimate answer to that question. I mean, like, what do you think of like a gay dude who like suppresses? I wouldn't say he suppresses himself. He dumps on himself for that, but like he still believes in Jesus and everything. What do you think of that?
well, I think of him what the Bible says, but I cannot judge whether or not someone is going to heaven or hell. I
Why
could
not?
judge because only God knows the heart. Here's what I could judge. I could judge the fruit that person is bearing. That tells me whether or not they're truly a professing Christian or they're not.
Okay, so can
That's
I ask you
why.
a question? Can I ask you a question, Wyatt? So me personally, right? Um, when right around the time when I became an atheist, I was still working with a it was a community outreach group that was church centric. They were a Baptist church, and even
Mhm.
when I came out as atheist, they were great people, and I love them to death to this day. I won two awards. One of them called the Outstanding Youth Award for my contributions to starting a youth group in Minneapolis, and the second award was the Robert Morris Empowerment Award. I wrote an essay about empowerment in the workplace and how to apply it in real life. Now, both of these things I've done as an atheist. I'm also bisexual. I'm very open about that. I don't think I am
So am
homophobic
I too,
or
by the
anything
way.
like that as I used to. So all of these things I've done, and just the good name of humankind alone. Now, am I worthy of hell? Or would your God, rather,
Well,
sorry, would your God say I'm worthy of hell? Since you can't.
Somebody
yes,
check the side chat. Check the side chat, somebody.
according to the Bible, you are
Hmm?
worthy of hell. Why? Because you're a sinner. Let me give you an example. Let's say you got a speeding ticket. Okay. So you have to go to court, pay that speeding ticket. Okay.
Okay.
So you walk up to the judge and you say, okay, but judge, I've done all these wonderful things. I've done all these wonderful things. You know, I've helped the poor, I've helped the needy, I've helped grandma across the street. So what's the
I
judge
know.
going?
Okay, so
What's
I
the
can
judge
answer
going?
that, and I knew you were going to go this route. So here's the difference, right? The difference between, the God of the Bible and, let's say, a court judge here in the U.S. The difference is if I'm speeding and I get a speeding ticket, I am reaping the repercussions of my action. And as a moral person, I would have to take that in consideration and take my punishment, and perhaps maybe I am adjusted to not do that again. That's a whole lot different than simply just being born a homosexual and being condemned to hellfire for all eternity. That is immoral or immoral, sorry. And I don't know what any person would,
Are you
can vouch for that. There's a whole difference there. That's not
saying
even remotely close.
what you said is that being born a certain way and then being damned to hellfire is immoral. Let me ask you a question. Okay.
There's
Is
a
there,
faction. There's a faction of Christianity that once declared that black people was, cursed. I mean, I don't. How many of these things are you guys gonna adjust to modern thinking
there's
these
no
days?
there's no more than one. Well, according to the Bible, there's no more than one race, unless you got a Martian tucked in your pocket somewhere.
I'm
There's no
sorry. Say
more
that one
than
more
one
time.
race. There's no more. According to the Bible, there's no more than one race, unless you got a Martian tucked in your pocket.
What do you mean by there's no more than one race?
I'm sorry. I just have to laugh at this. There's no more. Do you mean species?
I
What?
want to be clear too. What do you
Not like
mean?
we're one species. Is that what you're trying to say, Wyatt? Just for clarification.
Well, I would
Neither one
say
of those
that
will be right, by the way.
there's no more than one human race according to the Bible. So people who are racist
Right.
and still claim Christians are acting very, very inconsistently. with
Well, how so?
Christian.
Because there was one point, I mean, the Bible, vouches for slavery, and, the Christians back in the 1800s, back when, the slave trade was going on, indoctrinated a lot of my ancestors with Christianity because it was actually supported. So, I mean, like, is that what you vouch for?
I don't vouch for slavery. I'll tell.
I didn't think so. I didn't think so. I actually think a lot of Christians are way better than what their Bible teaches, which is why I got you earlier. You know, uh, you said that you were uncomfortable with that. You said the two words homosexual. No, the reality is you're uncomfortable with the hate against, homosexuals because you're probably more moral than your Bible would ever want you to be.
Well, well, here's the thing. I'm not more moral because I
That's not a
define
good thing.
the way. Okay. Well,
Sorry,
here's
let me
the
guess. You define morality in terms of the Bible, therefore you can't be more moral than the Bible, right?
exactly,
Right, and
exactly.
that's horrible. That's
I'm
what you
getting good
vouch
at
for.
this.
So
Well,
if you can't be, so is it moral? So is slavery moral then? Is that what you mean?
well, let's define what slave. Let's define the
I don't
terms
see
of.
how slavery can be a confusing term, but
Are you?
okay, go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. If we're going to read our definitions into the Bible, then we're eisegeting text instead of exegeting the text. Eisegeting the text, there are two different things: eisegesis and exegesis. Exegesis is when we find out what the Bible clearly intends
I
as the
I
text.
I
Okay,
normally don't go
okay. How
through.
about this? Just to help out. Okay. I remember with regard to my readings of the Old Testament, right? That if you're talking about like Hebrews owning a fellow Hebrew, right? You should let him go after about 6 or 7 years. That's not the same necessarily for female Hebrews or people of other tribes. You could own them forever, keep them as
Mhm.
property, something like that. And
Yeah,
it
there's
seems that the
loopholes.
God of the Old Testament sort of
Yeah.
ordains this, sanctions it off.
Yeah, there's loopholes to
That.
how to treat your slaves. I mean, like if you beat them close to death and they get up in 2 3 days, they're okay. Or if they die, then
Well,
you're subject for a
well,
punishment.
here's the thing. Are you? Here's the thing. What we're doing, what you're doing is eisegeting the text. You're reading your own definitions into what the Bible means. What does the Bible mean when it talks about slavery?
Well,
That's
I
the
can tell you.
What
Would
the?
you like me
Hold on,
to?
hold on, hold on. How do you
before
get
we
that
get into this,
confused?
hold on. Before we get into this, I'd just like to say, uh, the whole thing about words having definitions, they don't have meanings, they have usages, right?
Yeah.
So with the context of what I brought up, and we're not eisegeting anything, we're quoting directly what it says from the Old Testament, right? It makes it very clear that it has different standards for people that are within the tribe of God's chosen people, the Hebrews. You're supposed to treat your brothers pretty much decently. You let them off after a certain amount of time. For the heathens that live around them, that they're it's completely different because they're not God's chosen people. They're not their chosen tribe. So you could own them. You could pass them off as chattel. You could if they transgressed against you, you could wipe them all out and keep the virgins for yourself. And as in numbers, all that stuff. I mean that's pretty much the lesson that gives off with regard to
well,
slavery.
So
well, here's the thing. The
instead of
Bible
going into definitions of what we mean about slavery and what the definition slavery is in the Bible,
as in
well,
the
instead of doing
Bible.
that, I'll make it easier. I'll make it easier. I'll make it easier. Wait, hold on.
Okay,
I'll make it
okay.
easier.
So beautiful. You finish off and Wyatt, you could explain your position on it.
Right. I would make it simple. Okay. The activity expressed in the Bible includes buying, trading. There's also sexual labor. There's also loopholes with tagging your slaves to the value of a slave, whether or not if they've been defiled or not, yada yada yada, or if you beat your slave, yada yada. There's all that kind of stuff. Is any of that depicted in the Bible considered moral to you?
Is any of that what?
Depicted in the Bible considered moral to you? Everything that had to do with the
Well,
biblical definition of slavery.
well here's the thing. The Bible does not endorse slavery. It tells you how
It
to treat your
absolutely
slave.
does. No. The Bible
Well, here's
How does it not
exclusively
endorse slavery?
endorses
how to
slavery.
treat your slaves if you have them. If you have them. But my question would be, for my
No,
question.
If you have them.
let him get his answer. All right, come on, let's be fair.
Yeah.
Okay. But my question for you is, first of all, you're saying that this Bible is this immoral book. Here's the thing: is there any moral obligation that God ought to follow? And if so, why and what standard do you base that on outside of God?
Sure.
I base it on the standard of my dad. My dad is my
Yeah.
standard of objective morality. Boosh.
Yeah, actually, I don't take a stance that my morality is objective. I base my morality on my own consequences and knowing the effects that it might have to others. So if I am prone to being a threat to someone else, I should probably be secluded from other people. If I hurt someone, I should probably not hurt them again and probably be punished for that. I think that
Well,
if you right, so I don't feel that it's right for me to, let's say, slap a random stranger in the face, so I won't do it. And I
well,
passed
here's
that teaching. I passed that teaching to, my kids once I have children and so on and so forth. That morality, why does it have to be why does it have to be objective other than just simply a pure demonstration of what is a correct thing to do as opposed to what
well,
is not correct to do,
well, if
what
you're
is
going to
harmful to what is not harmful.
Well, here's the thing. If we're going to be logically consistent, then we're going to have to say that. Sorry, there's a lot of noise going on around here. But if we're going to be logically consistent and we're going to call the Bible immoral, then we're going to have to. Then we're going to have something objective to base it on, or else you're going to say,
No, you're saying, hold on,
immoral.
you're saying that we need to base it on something objective. I'm asking why. Why can't we just base it on what's simply harmful and what is not harmful?
Before we
we're
get any deeper in this, Tony had a question.
Yeah, just a quick question for Wyatt, I believe it is. Did you go to Bible college?
No, I did not. But
So you look like you're in your 20s somewhere or other, and so you've gone to church enough to have all this information. You've got it from you've got it from your church.
I've studied a lot from apologetic resources. I've studied a lot from what atheists have to say, such as Jacqueline Glenn and Dawkins and debates and stuff like that. So that's where I get a lot of my information from. And yes, I do get a lot of my information from churches. But okay. And I've talked to atheists myself.
Well, I have too, but you sound like a good moral man, and these things that you're discussing are pretty much in line with my understanding, all except the part where in the Old Testament, and I can't remember exactly, I have to look it up, but God tells the tribes of the Hebrews, or whatever they're called at the time, to go into this certain area and attack this certain area, whoever they are, and kill all the men.
The Amalekites.
Kill all the men, children, and kill all the women that have known a man, and keep the women that have not known a man to yourself, for yourself.
Right. I would appeal to Romans chapter 9. We are the potter, he is the clay. The potter has the right over the clay to do as he wishes.
Oh, are we now going into divine command theory? Excellent.
I mean, yeah. So, do you really want to go with that argument? Because there's so many ways I can answer this.
All right.
You sure you don't want to just think about that again and just admit that you're probably more moral than your Bible wants you to be?
I'm not.
Yeah, it strikes me as rather odd. You've changed your defense and your apologetic quite a bit so far. I mean, you started off by saying the Bible doesn't actually, condone slavery, and now you're saying, well, even if it does, that's okay because God made us, therefore it's okay.
Yeah, see, that's fucked up. I can't. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm trying to give him a chance, but just I can't speak. We're good.
I mean, you see why now, after years of being a Christian myself and actually I didn't even put too much thought into it. I just knew that what I was learning and what I was believing in just did not make sense. And part of the reason was because I couldn't argue none of the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't. I just couldn't. I knew in my heart that this shit was fucked up, and there's got to be some morality left in you to feel like, hey, this is fucked up.
Here's
A
the
lot of this
thing.
shit really is.
Well, you already said that. You already said that the Bible is immoral, and you already said that morality is subjective. How are you going to be able to argue that the Bible is objectively immoral? We're having a debate here, and
I said that I actually said that that I don't take the stance that morality is objective. I don't take an objective stance of morality. I can only base it on my own. And my morality says that discriminating against someone being gay is wrong. I mean that I'm already better than God in that way.
Well, are you?
Blasphemy! Blasphemy, beautiful. You're saying you're better than God. That's a no-no.
I would actually say I would look at the evidential findings of this. Just look at what the facts have to say. At least for me, I mean, I on the other hand do believe that there is like some level for moral objectivism. The thing is, there are facts of the matter that relate to us as human beings who are similarly situated that, given the right conditions, can apply to anyone. So we actually put in regulations. We actually put in like laws and policies that could actually help us deal with that shit when the time comes, right? So, so for example, you can look at a place like the Nordic countries of the of Europe, right? I think Eastern Europe probably in that region, and find that there are like large secular countries that actually are the happiest countries you could actually find based on the data. They experience lower instances of corruption and crime and stuff like this, and they're almost all non-religious.
Sweden was one of them, right? Sweden.
Well, here's the thing. We're not basing our morality on who's happy are. On what makes society.
Well, the point that he's making is they're certainly not basing it off of biblical morality because they're doing better than us in the U.S.
Well, here's the thing.
And they're actually pretty happy. I mean, they have all their basic human needs met, so there's really no need to focus on anything deeper than that.
That's called the fallacy of altruism, and there are huge problems with altruism.
Well, yeah, of course, there's going to always be problems within countries.
Yeah.
The point that we're making is clearly there's a demonstration, at mass that points that God is not necessary for good, good like living, like for societal.
Well,
God is not needed. I mean, that's already demonstrated.
Well, you can't even define what good is.
Hold on. I just want to go back. Can you explain that whole fallacy of altruism thing?
Okay, the philosophy of altruism basically holds whatever makes society happier. And there are huge, and what's good for the whole group. Now there are huge problems with it. Let's say that you become a cashier for your career. Okay, let's say that's where you wind up. Now, let's say you could save lives if you became a doctor. Well, you might argue, well, someone has to become a cashier, and everyone's trying to become a doctor, so there's no one to check you out at the grocery store. So there are very murky areas with that. Also, if you apply for a job and you get the job, someone else is not going to get it. Now, the person that doesn't get the job is going to be unhappy because you beat him to the job. So is trying to beat someone else for a job immoral? You gotta.
Yeah, but aren't you on an overly holistic level? I mean, wouldn't we be looking rather at what makes society at large function better and be happier, not just individuals?
Well, can you quantify what actions can affect society good as a whole? You can't quantify that.
How
I can
deep
tell you
is
that
that?
having a correct number of cashiers and doctors generally makes for a happier society.
Well, how do you know that? How do you know that if you become a cashier instead of a doctor, then that's going to affect society as a whole? That's going to affect society in a good way or a bad way.
I don't know. I don't have to know.
I mean, that's sort of. I mean, I feel like this is sort of. I mean, this is sort of like equality of opportunity versus equality of outcome or something like that. I mean, whether or
It
not.
feels like that, but I'm not sure.
That's going off base of what we were just talking about here. If you're
Yeah.
gonna, that's another example, that you're bringing up that really doesn't really apply because in this case, the reason why I objected to that when you first said that was because we have a clear demonstration of, let's put Sweden compared to the U.S., right? Let's compare, prisoner population compared to the U.S., a country where mostly populated by Christians, compared to a country that is mostly populated by secularists, no matter whether they atheists or whatever. Let's compare that. There's a clear demonstration of, the mental health of prisoners over in Sweden. There's a clear demonstration of health general by like health by women. Women's health is like put up forth and actually appreciated and actually put some time into instead of derailed and unfunded by religious nutcases. There's a clear distinction, between a good living, in the secular world and one that is to be poisoned by religion.
Well, is that see you're doing what you're doing is called the fallacy of induction. You take a case. You're taking a case that is only isolating. You're taking a case where, okay, there's a case where a secular country is doing better than a more religious country. Okay, so you're extrapolating and saying, therefore, a secular country is actually better.
No, I'm saying, therefore, God is definitely not needed for a good life. Is what I'm saying.
How do you know? How do you know that? The concept
Because I'm
of
an
God.
atheist. Because I'm an atheist, a guy without God who have a good life. I'm not just saying. I'm not saying that I don't have I'm not saying I don't have issues like the next person, Christian or not. But I'm happy. Like I can wake up. I'm happy with myself. I don't feel like I'm empty with anything. Like all these
Yeah,
good
and
things, and I help people. I help the
want to throw in another
community.
thing. I just want to throw in another thing. I'm not sure exactly like how you sort of framing these logical fallacies, but with induction, I mean there's inductive reasoning, right? How we infer inferences like facts and stuff, and then there's the problem of induction. I don't know about anything about the fallacy of induction. The problem of induction is basically how we measure our reasoning and stuff like this, and like we can't. Okay, I don't want to like f up the meaning, so I'll just pick it up. But basically, it's something that pre-suppers tend to invoke, in that we can't. It's sort of like the scandal of philosophy, right? And that we can't. It's because it's imperfect. We can't trust anything with regard to it. Just let me. I'm accurate with this shit just as possible. Okay, problem of induction. Okay, it's a philosophical question whether inductive reasoning leads to knowledge understood in the classic philosophical sense, since it focuses on the alleged lack of justification for either, right? So it's the glory of science, but the scandal in philosophy. But that doesn't mean we can't use it, and it doesn't mean it's not valid. Okay, it's just
Well,
imperfect. It doesn't mean it's not
how
a
do you know?
thing to measure or use.
The why I was pointing that out as a fallacy is because you're generalizing based on one particular experience and then extrapolating it. That's
I
why I
don't.
was pointing out.
I haven't
That's
heard
a,
anyone use it as a blanket. Like, this is not something that I would agree. This is an isolated thing, but we're not using this example as a, checkmate Christian moment. This is not. We're just. I'm on. The only thing I'm doing with that demonstration was pointing out to you that clearly a society can do well, if not better, without God. So we know that
Yeah,
because that's the
without.
demonstration.
Yeah, but yeah,
well,
basically the reason, like me being the first one to bring it up, the reason I brought it up is because we're talking about how societies can progress and stuff like this, and yeah, with the Nordic countries with a large secular population and low levels of corruption and crime and stuff and high levels of happiness, it's basically secular societies can actually strive and be happy absent of religious faith or anything like that. That's all. That's the reason
here's the
I brought it up. The point is it's a possible thing basically.
here's the thing. I'm getting interrupted a lot, so I can't really finish my statements. I don't know why, um, but here's the thing. Without God, someone can't do anything without God, or without God is not. It's a misnomer. Here's why. I can be a good person without God is a misnomer. It doesn't make sense because I say nothing exists without God. We can't even exist without God. We can't even have morals without God. Now, does that mean we can't be moral without believing in God? See, we gotta get our semantics right if we're going to be debating here.
Why, man?
Let me
Hold
ask
on,
you. Let me
hold on
ask you a
once.
question. Let
Oh,
me
go
ask you a
ahead.
question, Wyatt. Have you ever heard of the argument from incredulity?
The argument of what?
The argument from incredulity.
Nope.
Okay, it's basically a fallacy that says you can't imagine something not being the case absent of your particular view, and that seems to be what you're invoking right now. You're saying that you can't be moral absent of a God. You can't be moral because that's a prerequisite is believing in God, and what we've shown you is evidence to that contrary. Now, what you're doing is by saying that you're invoking that fallacy. So by saying you can't imagine how that just can't be, that's not a good enough
Right,
reason to say that just can't be the case.
right.
I
And
have this evidence.
I brought up this example earlier. I'm an activist here. You know what I mean? I've done this as an atheist. People evidently trust me enough to, have their kids and go camping and do all these things. You know what I mean? I've done all this stuff, and you're saying that's not a good thing because there's no God involved with it. That's
So,
bizarre.
so if I could, can I ask Wyatt? So presumably from the Bible you get such things as "Thou shalt not kill" and "Thou shalt not rape" and stuff like this. Are you saying that if there was no God, uh, or if let's say you found out there was no God, would you feel like would you start doing those things? Would you feel morally permitted to do those things, to aggress against other people and so forth?
Yeah, I think he crashed. His video was frozen for a while already.
Oh dear.
It's just like, it's one of those things where I love when people say that there's no good without God, and then I point them to my G plus page. And you know what I mean? Like, no, 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 you can't say that, and then have some evidence brought to you, and then you can't, back up your statement that you just made. It's bizarre. That was the one thing really, uh, back when I was a believer. That was the one thing that really got me, was knowing a whole bunch of people who were not Christians, who under my belief system supposed to be my enemies or swine for that matter. You know, they were doing all these great things, and I wasn't doing any of that stuff.
Right. I mean, it seems to me that when one says that God is good, if they judge God to be good, they're using some kind of a standard that's apart from God. Otherwise, they would just say that God is God, and what He said is what He says. They wouldn't say it was good or bad or
Yeah, I
indifferent.
remember when
Yeah, exactly.
I remember when Pendulette talked to Saitan, he said that exact same thing. Yeah.
Right. Hey
Well,
guys, I
circular
gotta
reasoning
peace
works
out. It
because
was nice
circular
chatting with
reasoning
you guys.
works.
Okay, later, beautiful.
All right, man.
All right.
You guys have a good one.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's cool. In fact, I'm actually gonna start playing some videos just so we can have something external to talk about. I feel like
All
we've
right.
sort of had a moral thing. Okay, so we got Jesse Lee Peterson says that any man who has anger is a woman.
Wait,
Doesn't
what?
make it again.
I gotta go, guys. Okay.
Okay, cool, man. Later.
Yeah. Sorry, my computer died on me. I'm gonna go charge it.
No, it's cool, man. I understand that shit happens. All right, you have a nice day, man.
Wait,
All right.
sorry, what was that last
See you,
thing
Wyatt.
you said? A man who has anger is a woman? Did I hear that
Yeah,
correctly?
it's some. Hang on. Let me just screenshot this shit. Okay, let me just.
It sounds like a cone or something. I don't even know what to make of that.
I don't know. It's weird. People are weird.
All right. Hey guys, I gotta go. And if you guys want to set up a formal debate with me, I'll be more than happy to.
I'll debate with you.
Okay. Just email me at wmickas@outlook.com.
Wives and girlfriends and just
Okay.
go on, right? And some guys said, well, why do you think this is happening? And they had all kind of.
All right. I'll see you guys later, and God bless. Okay.
Thank you. You too.
Woman, right? And what do you mean we're women? I said,
Later,
do you
Wyatt.
have anger? And they said, all of them said, yes, they have anger because anger is natural. Everybody has anger. It just, it all depends on how you let it control you, how you use it. Anger can be used for good or bad. They were going on and on, right? And so I said, well, any man who has anger is a woman. I make sure I emphasize the woman thing. And they were like, oh, what do you mean? They were like going on, right? And I said, you guys have become like your mothers. And that's why you complain about your women, because you hate. You become attracted to what you hate. So you're involved with women that, you're involved in women that are just like your mothers and you can't handle them.
What?
Okay, that was a bunch of gibberish.
No,
That
you
literally
know,
was. Does any of that shit make any sense to anyone in here? Like,
no, because I mean, the thing is, God created man in His image, right? And have you read the Old Testament? He was one angry son of a bitch. Anger is completely natural and Christian-like, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was God in the Old Testament. It seems like the God in the New Testament is slightly more reserved. I think Jesus only got pissed off once or twice that I can think of right offhand. I mean, you got to say when he went into the temple with a whip and run the money changers out, the bankers, he was upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the Old Testament, the Hebrews go around killing a lot. I mean, not just a little, a lot. So
But yeah,
it's quite a contrast, would you say?
yeah, absolutely. I just want to quickly go back to that video. I think I figured it out. That guy is studying to become Brett Keane.
Oh, it'd be so funny to have Brett Keane on here. Somebody send him the link.
No, the nonsense rhetoric is all the same. All he has to do is start asking bullshit questions like it's macaroni, prime, or composite.
Who are you talking about now?
Brett Keane.
Oh, what? He wants a link in here?
No. Yeah, just saying it'd be funny to invite him in and just hear him speak.
Nah, he doesn't like me. I'm sort of a big DP fan, and
He doesn't like anybody.
that night I call him openly a piece of shit to his face. So
Oh, dude. Okay. I was actually in a hangout with him, which I should have recorded, but I was an idiot. I said,
You probably record that shit, dude.
I remember when he was.
It.
I remember when he was an internet atheist.
Yeah, and seeing Christians give him money, so he was. And I actually pointed that out, like, why would you believe in God? Because they give you money, and he kicks me out. He's like,
yeah, that's what he does. Yeah.
I think I've come up with the name for his religious denomination. He's a patheist.
You know what? I fucking loved. I loved him when they had him on the Drunken Peasants. They destroyed him. It was just beautiful. I watched that podcast like 5 times.
That was a tar and feathering what happened to him. That was hilarious. That reminds me. Okay, I'm gonna play a video, but before that, yeah, I saw him dumb down a burger for $1,000 to actually show that he has no teeth.
Jesus.
Like, he has no shame about himself whatsoever. It's like, dude, you're that pathetic.
I think he just lacks self-awareness.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, The Secret of Finding God by Brett Keane.
Oh God, this video.
That's not be great.
Okay. Oh my God, no one cares, you piece of shit.
I just got like 20,000 annotations. Naturally.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keane from God TV Radio. Make sure you check out my website,
Can you make it full screen?
I'm out here enjoying nature, and I've been doing a lot of thinking. Should I continue to make videos about God and religion, being that there's more to the universe than we can ever even know? That we have less than 1% understanding of 200 billion light years of space and time and nature itself? That we still haven't discovered the origin of the universe? We still don't even understand why our consciousness exists in the first place? I've been in over 500 live hangouts, shows, and each one of them...
Yeah, each one of them you go off and do random shit and let people run your hangouts for you, and they're almost all shit shows, Brett.
And you ask, like, nonsense questions, like, is atheism objective or subjective, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean.
Yeah, or was your ancestor a rat or some stupid shit?
Oh yeah, that's another fun one.
Yeah.
But then when I talk to people that are of a non-belief persuasion, they cannot help themselves but to show hatred, anger, and even result to hurt besides actual discussion.
So much projection.
Brad, here's the thing. You're sort of a disgrace when it comes to the atheist community. You were sort of like thrown out of it in that regard. You dox people, and let's see, what else? You've actually advocated for terrorist acts against atheists, violence against atheists. For them to be
also false flagging. I mean, there's a video out there of him literally flagging videos. You know what I mean? You know what? I'm just gonna flag everything, and just it was just fuck you, Brett.
Pretty much like anybody like Brett Keane befriends in like a little bit of time, no less than 2 weeks or so. he'll turn against them, backstab them, and he wonders why everyone hates him. What a dumb fuck, you know, Brett.
What happened to this man? I can't.
I don't know, like, I guess that's what happens when you, like, when your life is consumed by YouTube, you just becoming a tumor for it.
I really don't. I myself, whenever I was a non-believer, the only thing that was important to me when it came to God was knowing if God was true or not. I didn't get off or find any kind of happiness or closure by mocking and making people feel like shit. As where we can see that
Bro, are you serious? You do that all the fucking time. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You talk shit about people all the time, and half the time they tell you shit. They're open about this shit, and you just use that to shit on them. Like, you do it with Paul's ego, you do it to freaking TJ, you do it to everyone around you. Fuck off.
all the time. There's not a YouTube channel out there that goes by where atheists cannot sit there and do their channel without making a video insulting religious people or insulting God. And to me, that shows something very powerful. What's going on there, boy? All right. You know, to me, I've made over 400 videos on 2 different channels about God and why it is that I believe. And I pointed out that
That is a lie. There have been more.
And they're all
God,
terrible.
This piece of shit. Brett Keane Superstar, Brett Keane Hollywood. There have been many. You went up and shut down several times over, Brett.
I like how he's sitting like against this like faux wood paneling, wearing a wife beater, and then he just like turns and says, "Hey, what you doing there, boy?" Like, could he be any more stereotypically Southern?
Look, hold on. You know, he's wearing a wife beater, and he's a wife beater himself.
Yeah, this stage of misery is such an inspiring place. It moves me to punch my wife in the face.
Oh, dude, I fucking love that video.
Yeah, me too. All right.
And another thing, like I'm no stranger to shameless self-promotion, but Jesus Christ, dude, how many banners do you need?
I know, right? Look at that.
Hey, I mean, this is how he gets cash. That and the welfare check.
to me, I made an oath, a promise, stating that if God gave me evidence a long time ago, I would stop being a hardcore atheist, and I would try.
Yeah, God gave you evidence in the form of money.
Mm-hmm.
Money is the strongest evidence we have for God. It's our gold standard.
Yeah, I mean, he's so full of shit. He makes arguments for atheism now on the side. In fact, I'm pretty much sure I could find it after this, but let's hear a little bit more and then move on.
Realize how difficult and challenging it would be. At the time, whenever I was asking for evidence of God, that was a time where I still believed that atheists were rational, logical people, and that if you simply talked to them and tried to help them understand, listen, or at least show you enough respect to be decent, I was wrong about this. It has been hell on wheels ever since I left atheism and become a theist. Nothing but personal attacks towards me, my loved ones, people I care about, everything that they could possibly drag me through the mud.
You threaten my family. You never threaten my family again. Oh, come on.
Oh, you attacked my family. You attacked my family. Brett, shut the fuck up. The only reason there have been flags is because you false flag people. You DMCA'd. You friggin' you doc dropped. You've done reprehensible shit, Brett. It's not the fact that you've left atheism. People don't give a shit about what you personally believe or not. Okay, it's how you do shit online that they don't like, and more importantly, your dumbass put your own phone number out there, so it's not all that surprising that people troll you consistently and shit. You
I
can't.
actually want to
You
troll him.
you ever heard of not throwing stones at a glass house? You fat tub of shit. You fucking Jabba the Hutt looking motherfucker with stunner shades on, like you're the shit, when really you're just a washed up, less than 30-year-old like degenerate piece of crap.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
No,
Also,
this is it.
what is going on with his hair? Is that just like bad lighting, or is there something like really strange about it?
He's got some Corella Deville shit going on here, man. Some
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
black in the middle.
He looks like he's 60. Isn't he like 40? How old is he?
No, he's less than 40. He's less than 40. He's like 36 or 37.
What the fuck happened?
Well, let that be a lesson to you kids. Becoming theist gives you gray hairs.
Yeah.
What the
They do it to a whole lot of people. I visit Venom Thing X's YouTube channel, and this freak, and man, Beckel, True Empiricism, Nephilim 3, Von Helton. Von Helton's not a Christian, but he is a pagan who believes very strongly that there are gods, and maybe even more gods than just one.
Yeah, and he's also a fucking lunatic. So, I mean, the guy also thinks that he traveled back in time. Albatross, you were like
Wait, who is this?
An endorsement of Von Helton by Brett Keane. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wait, who is this? I missed the name.
Okay, Von Helton, basically.
Oh well, whatever. I never heard of him, so who cares?
Okay, so this guy, he's a pagan dude, right? Like got no teeth in his mouth. Okay, so he believes he traveled back in time. This isn't his reality. Like he was the Mandela effect and shit in a time where Mandela didn't died in prison or some shit because
oh my god, these crazy people just piss me the fuck off.
Yeah, because if he didn't, he would have oppressed the white people in South Africa, and that CERN is like trying to create a portal to hell.
Yeah, I fucking saw that. Yeah, I fucking saw that article, and I was like, nope.
Yeah, that guy's a fucking lunatic. And he has a nerve, and the weird thing is, crazy people have the right to be offended. No. You can be offended all you want. You're still fucking crazy. You fucking lunatic.
I don't know. I think calling him crazy is kind of offensive to crazy people.
You don't want to be called crazy. Get some treatment, you crazy motherfucker.
Dude, I'm crazy. Okay, and I'm offended.
Me too, man.
Wait, is Mo the Pagan actually in here? Is this the actual guy?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
This is the actual Mo the Pagan.
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, hi. I'm okay. I heard you talk, guys, dissing good old Brett Keane, so I decided to join in.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're to come in. Yeah, what do you think of Von Helton, another pagan?
Oh, Von Helton. Never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, good grief. He's a nutcase.
Yep.
That's the best way I can say it. Most polite I can say it.
Albatross, what did you think of him? Because I remember you couldn't stand it anymore. You just left. I know I did too.
No, we were having a bit of a row about the state of South Africa, and I'm just like, I started losing my temper, so I just said, yeah, no, I'm gonna burst a blood vessel at this rate. Fuck it. Yeah, no, he's a fucking lunatic.
Yeah, one of the things he claims is that he was the descendant of Count Dracula, which is not very likely.
I don't know. I think my favorites are, having served in pretty much every branch of the United States Armed Forces, being the Punisher, inventing parts of the Stonefighter, being a vampire.
Wait, hold on. He claimed to be the Punisher.
Yes.
I gotta meet this guy just to laugh.
Yeah, he's a bit of a nut.
Yeah. He did at one point claim to be the Punisher. Holy mackerel.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got an Encyclopedia Dramatica page. Let me get you a link for that.
Oh, dude, please.
Really? He's got that level of craziness. Encyclopedia Dramatica. Wow, that's lovely. All right, fuck, we're moving on. Shit, crazy people online. Okay, so this is like Donald Trump's running mate, and he's talking about evolution and shit.
Thanks, Albatross.
You're welcome.
Ever been an avocation of mine to contemplate and to study the origins of man and of life here on Earth. And many theories of origins have been propounded throughout our nation's history. 1859, a sincere biologist returned from the Galapagos Islands and wrote a book entitled The Origins of Species, in which Charles Darwin offered a theory of the origin of species, which we've come to know as evolution. Charles Darwin never thought of evolution as anything other than a theory. He hoped that someday it would be proven by the fossil record, but did not live to see that, nor have we. 1925, in the famous Scopes monkey trial, this theory made its way through litigation into the classrooms of America, and we all have seen the consequence over the last 77 years. Evolution not taught as a sincere theory of biologists, but rather, Mr. Speaker, taught as fact. And lest anyone listening in would doubt that, we can all see in our mind's eye that grade room classroom we all grew up in with the linear depiction of evolution just above the chalkboard. There's the little monkey crawling on the grass. There's the Neanderthal with his knuckles dragging, and then there's Mel Gibson standing.
Point of order.
What the fuck?
Hold on.
He said Mel Gibson.
No, I'm pissed off about the Neanderthal thing. Neanderthals, as far as I remember, were not ancestors of humans.
Yeah, they were a subspecies. And did you catch that, like that distinction? Okay, a couple things. Let's just deal with the reverse order. Theory and fact. Okay, a scientific theory is not the same as theory we use in a colloquial sense. That's just a hunch and shit.
Yeah.
A scientific theory is a body of knowledge that explains an aspect of natural phenomena, and for the diversity of life, that's evolution. Now, with the theory that Darwin laid out, yeah, he was the one who published the research, who got the work off the ground, but Darwinism was pretty much enhanced upon, because he recognized that natural selection was one factor, right, but not the exclusive means. He even said that in his writings. He wasn't aware of like DNA. He wasn't aware of genes and stuff like that, mutations and shit. All that came about later after his time, and in fact refined his work and actually gained a more complete understanding of the theory of evolution. So none of those later discoveries actually disproved his work. In fact, it built upon it and actually had a better understanding of common ancestry and the history of life on Earth. So this guy that Donald Chimp ironically has is a fucking idiot.
Well, of course.
Okay.
And what the hell is that about Mel Gibson? You see the monkey?
Yeah, I think he has a boner for Mel Gibson.
What?
Well, I think maybe he's trying to do a stealth insult. He's saying that Mel Gibson's ancestors were monkeys.
I don't know. Who gives a fuck?
How did this guy get in power?
Evolved along linear lines. But now comes a new find by paleontologists in the newspapers all across America. A new study in Nature magazine. 6 to 7 million year old skull has been unearthed. The Torme skull. And it suggests that human evolution was actually, according to a new theory, human evolution that was taking place, and I'm quoting now, all across Africa and on the Earth. And the Earth was once truly, and I quote, a planet of the apes on which nature was experimenting with many human-like creatures. Paleontology.
Oh yeah, you got that new evidence and stuff like that refines our body of knowledge. That's scary. We learned some shit. Oh, that's so terrible. Oh, damn. So terrible. And that's a problem. Why?
Yeah, exactly. It's making it sound like reevaluating your theory to better fit the collected data is a bad thing.
Yeah, the
I
more
guess
we
so.
find, the more we find, the more complete our understanding. So I mean, that's sort of science's job. I mean, see,
Yeah,
this
but
is
see, these people don't understand science. They just, I mean, hell, a regular person doesn't understand science either. You have to be willing to study it in order to understand it, and most people don't.
yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you don't really. That's why, see, that's what happens when you don't make scientific literacy a thing. You get people who not just deny evolution, but people who believe in flat Earth and ancient aliens and shit.
Uh,
These jackasses.
Don't
All right,
get me
moving
started.
on.
Just are excited about this, Mr. Speaker, but no one's pointing out that the textbooks, I guess, will need to be changed because the old theory of evolution taught for 77 years in the classrooms of America as fact is suddenly replaced by a new theory, or I hate
oh,
to will be told
Are
a
you
new.
fucking kidding me?
it's the same thing. It just adds to it.
Yeah.
I give up. These people.
And now that we've recognized evolution as a theory, I would simply and humbly ask, can we teach it as such? And can we also consider teaching other theories of the origin of species, like the theory that was believed in by every signer of the Declaration of Independence?
Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
The Declaration of Independence believed that men and women were created and were endowed by that same creator with certain.
Wait. Did he just say an inanimate object believes in? He just said the.
Female, he created them.
I can't.
Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so how do you test that exactly? That creationism is true.
Yeah, like
Did
how
he?
is that falsifiable?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I can point to some things that were clearly not intelligently designed, but you know.
Yeah, and more to the point, I mean, like that's not falsifiable. Like, and who was the designer behind this? Was it a supernatural god? Was it an alien? Was it a time traveler? Was it some guy that jacked off in the primordial ooze? Like, who was it?
Well, maybe it was Steve from next door. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Fuck this guy. That this is done.
And I mean, yeah, and like you know, hundreds of years ago, people were taught that we lived in a geocentric universe, and then that turned out not to be true. So we changed the theory.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everyone kind of took it as read that you know the Earth was the center of the universe, but you know when that turned out not to be true, eventually people changed, and now the fact is that it's not. Like, what is so
Yeah.
wrong with changing your mind so as to be more in line with reality?
Nothing. That and that's that's the type of person I am. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be trapped in ignorance. I don't want to be a prisoner in the cave, so to speak.
Yeah.
Thank you, Plato.
Okay, so we got let's see, can you hear me? All right,
Yes.
we got Dr. Common Sense, how the hell can Hillary be leading Trump in the polls? Oh fuck. This is perfect. Ads. No, I don't want it. No, I don't want it. Just show me the crazy person.
Hello and welcome to Common Sense TV. I'm your host, the Doctor of Common Sense.
Are you gonna show the video?
What? Common sense, doctor.
Yep.
Whatever happened to Common Sense?
Oh, this guy.
This one is Doctor of Common Sense. He's wearing sunglasses indoors.
What'd you say?
Common sense would dictate that if it's too bright indoors, you turn down your fucking lights.
Yeah.
He's failed the first. He's fallen at the first hurdle of common sense.
Yeah, I don't know, some crazy guy.
I'm excited to hear Hillary Clinton speak. Now, I know a lot of the donors, special interest groups, who want to give contributions to Hillary, and the way they got around the minimum contributions is allow this cunt to come to their facility and they speak, and she speaks 20 or so minutes, and they pay her $250,000, $300,000. They paid Bill Clinton $500,000. Now, my question is, if people are willing to pay Hillary Clinton $250,000 for a speech, when she gives a free speech, the damn place should be packed. Am I right or wrong? On the other hand, you want me to believe Donald Trump has a rally. Every time he has a rally, the damn thing is wall-to-wall packed. They have to turn people away. People are waiting on the outside. But people are really excited to hear Hillary Clinton. They're excited because, quote, she's the first female. I think it's hogwash. Either there's two premises. Either the media, including Fox News, is lying about the polls, or they're only polling Democrats, or the American people have completely lost their effing mind. There is no hope for us whatsoever.
I mean, dude, you're stating the obvious in that obviously there is deception going on, but more to the point, what she's writing on is not just the fact that she was allied in the Obama administration as the secretary, but also she's the lesser of evils when it comes to comparing her and Trump. I mean, sure, is she a lizard? Yes, she is a lizard, in that she sort of changes her positions far more than like what Romney did, like prior to that election, like the previous one. But yeah, I mean, as much as she sucks, she's slightly better off than fucking Trump. Anyone else have anything to weigh on that?
Only that the choice between two evils is fucked up. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even mind that shit. I would just want the person I want, that I think is the best qualified for president, at least get close to that, as opposed to these fucks. But the DNC lied and all this shit, and whatever.
They all lie. I mean, just like somebody pointed out there, it may have been you, that Hillary was part of Obama's administration. You see, they're all, whether it's a conspiracy or not, they are still good old boys, including Hillary as a good old girl, involved in keeping. Sorry about that. In keeping the power.
Yeah, maintain the status quo, basically.
Yeah. So there's not going to be much change,
Yeah.
If the polls are to be believed, because there is no way that the race should be even close. After all the things that she's done, after all the lies she's been told, after the history of her and her husband going through molesting of women, lying about Whitewater, email scandals, servant. And the list goes on and on. And you want me to believe that the American people are stupid enough to say that Hillary is the right candidate? After all the lies that she has told, you want me to believe that she is the right candidate? The polls are correct? If she was so damn popular, and somebody said, well, rallies don't necessarily produce the people who come out to vote. Let me tell you something. One thing about excitement, you can't bottle up excitement. If the people are excited to hear this fella speak, and they're excited about what he's saying, they're not going to be challenged enough not to go out to the damn polls.
Okay, here's the thing. There is a portion of people who are establishment Democrats and the lesser degree Republicans, barely, that like Hillary. All right, the rest of them aren't. Obviously, they were for Bernie Sanders. Now, Sanders, obviously, who directed his voters to vote for Hillary, obviously went against that because of not just what he said previously about her, but her overall record. It obviously sucks because she's just in it for the money. She doesn't really give all that much of a fuck about change. So there's that. But the reality is, with that whole lesser of evils argument, that plays a factor in there. And even you could go with that whole DNC thing, right? Where they said they were gonna sabotage his platform and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hillary is actually the front runner, so there is that. That's the whole thing. It's not a matter of getting you to believe in any narrative either way. That's just the way it is. It sucks, but so that's a pain in the ass about it.
Yeah, is
Anyone?
anything actually coming out of those DNC leaked email revelations? Like, is any kind of action being pursued?
Say what now?
So is any kind of action being pursued as a result of that, of those leaked emails from the DNC?
I think there was a chair that got removed, like that one woman that got kicked off of it for that. I mean, they said they were gonna bring up like they were challenging his views, and especially I think they were almost gonna like atheist shame Bernie Sanders out of that because he had sort of a non-religious position about it. So there's that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. A little more of this. Hey Mac, what's up, man?
What?
That doesn't make any sense to me. They always talk about these polls. Have any of y'all ever been polled? Because I've never been polled to this day. So I don't believe the bullshit. But you have these folks telling you that Hillary Clinton is ahead and the people are excited for Hillary Clinton, but whenever she gives a speech, her and Mr. Not So Able Kane, they can't get anybody to go out and listen to them. But I'm excited to hear you, but I don't want to hear you. Just say the voters are going to hear you or whatever famous band.
Yeah. This seems to be a shit show. Like with this, let's move on.
Now, I just want to point out this man has almost 135,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
I weep for humanity.
You weep for humanity because he's telling the truth about the fact that Hillary is not worth to be even voted for? It doesn't make any sense. It's like you're listening to him, but you're not listening to him.
Who's his candidate?
I'm sorry, what?
Who's he going to vote for?
He's not voting. He just told you that. You're not listening to what he just said.
Well, I've been listening, brother. It's just that doesn't all come in audio clearly. But I'm not voting either. And I haven't since 1972.
Oh, that's good. You're smart.
Well, it's not smart. You just become delusioned after, your president gets murdered on the streets. And then you have one ejected from office, and you lose a little.
Well,
you lose a little bit then.
I'm calling you intelligent. I'm calling you intelligent. I don't know about what the rest of everyone else is like doing as far as the concept of voting, but the idea that you even have a choice concerning politics is like laughable. You don't have a choice.
It's ludicrous. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, when you get when you have someone out there that gets a bunch of young people like after the vote, and you figure out that he's not even going to be like the nominee, of course, and you sort of learn it right then and there. But yeah, that being said, we're going to move ahead. Okay, we got the Vigilant Christian must see Satanist open city council meeting with Satanic invocation in the Bible Belt. Neat.
Go. Of July 14, 2016 to order. At this time, we will have an invocation by David Sewell. This will be followed by a Pledge of Allegiance led by Vice President Brian Spencer. We can.
Is that in Congress? Or
Say what now?
At the city council meeting, it seems.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in Pensacola.
Well, you'd think if he really was part of the Satanic Temple, he'd have a couple of lawyers with him or something.
Say what now?
I'd say you'd think if he really served the devil, he'd have a couple of like ghost lawyers or something with him.
A couple of bodies.
I don't think you understand what a Satanist is, Albatross.
I'm just messing around.
Hold on. Let me just play the video, and then we could talk about it afterwards.
please keep it to a low volume. Then I'm going to have to ask you all to leave so that he can get his invocation. Mr. President, I can clear the chambers.
Man, this is sort. I remember this is sort of like me on like the Bible Thumping Wingnut podcast. It's pretty good.
These
Man, it's
people should
crazy
have just
enough.
left. It should have just been a simple people just leaving, because that was ridiculous. I know you're just going to continue the video. My bad.
Do we really need to watch more of that? I mean, it looks like it's going to continue to be a shit show.
Well, I didn't know if he was going to continue it or not. I didn't want to keep talking after I said that. So
Yeah, no, that's reasonable.
All right, continuing on with the video.
Well, no, I was gonna say before we go on, did any of you see that Rick and Morty court case Animanic?
I remember that episode.
No, that's not an episode. It's it's an actual case from Georgia, and the guys from Rick and Morty made an animatic out of it.
I don't really I don't remember that. We could I think we'll talk about it after this one, but yeah.
If I like, I don't want to have to do that.
Well, then we went anyway.
Oh, good job of hilarious.
Stories are removing them.
I palpitate.
And unfettered by arcane doctrines, born of fearful minds in darkened time. Let us embrace the Luciferian impulse to eat of the tree of knowledge and dissipate our blissful and comforting delusion of hope. Let us demand that individuals be judged for their concrete action, not their fealty to arbitrary social norms and illusory categorization. It is God.
Amen. Hail Satan. That was lovely. I enjoyed that.
He's got a pair of lungs on him. I'll go with that.
It's just
I like how he lightweight trolled like in the middle of that, like he was pointing to next to that guy, and he was all, oh, that was beautiful.
Yeah, just hail the one that hates you. Yep, hail the one that's going to destroy you in the end, and ultimately wants to take you to hell with him. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think we've been over this. It's just a metaphor.
It's not a metaphor,
how that
dude.
works.
It's not a metaphor, dude. It's not.
It's a belief.
Yeah, that's all you.
It's a belief.
Yeah.
No, it's more than that. But yeah,
metaphor.
But
metaphor
you
for
can't
skepticism.
prove that, man.
Yes, I can.
Just like I can't prove it's not. It's just a belief.
I mean, well,
wait a second. So, Tony, when you say that you can't prove something, that you're saying is that you're saying you cannot prove something does not exist, but these people are saying that they worship this very being. They're telling you this, and they know they can tell you word for word that they actually worship this being. No, I'm talking about people who actually flat out say it. You're telling me that they don't have validity in what they're saying, even though they themselves can tell you and can perform right in front of you what this being is and what he does. And they know his character and they know who he is.
I've never seen anyone prove anything about hell in front of me like you're mentioning here at this point. And if you can do that with some people, why don't you make a video out of it, and then I
Well,
would consider it.
that would be ridiculous for me to do because again, you're talking to a Christian. You're not talking to a Satanist. You're not talking to a person who performs witchcraft. You're
Yeah,
talking.
and for me at least, as like
You
being a
gotta
Satanist,
pee.
I would
I'll
say
be
that
right
for
back.
me, I just use the word as a metaphor for skepticism, like challenging authority and like reason and
Right.
all that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, but you're.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't like the Satanic Temple doesn't believe in an actual Satan or anything like that. No,
Yes, they do.
actual involvement.
Well, you
No, they
don't.
don't.
Yes, they do,
It's
and you do
satire.
too. Yes, they
It's
do.
satire.
It's not satire. LaVeyan
Yes.
Satanism, in all its deception and all its destruction of their very own souls, and the very evil that they perform. LaVeyan Satanism, I can give them one credit in this: they were honest, at least at one point when Anton LaVey was running it at the time, because he would tell people flat out he believes in a literal Satan. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's lovely and everything. The Satanic Temple is not associated with Levant Satanism. In fact, we believe that it's a bit too Nietzschean, a bit too right-wingish, so it's like dumped all together. So I mean,
You
Anton
branching
LaVey, his legacy. So as for Anton LaVey, his legacy, I mean, that's him and his stuff, but that's disregarded to
You
us.
don't get it. You don't get it, Wolf. Branching off from something that was already satanic to begin with does not take away the Satanism from it. All you're doing is trying to water something down, but you're still believing in the same entity.
So couldn't that be
Wait, so
applied to you?
hold on here. Hold on. I've got a question for you then, Mac. You think that Catholics aren't Christian, don't you?
Of course not. They're not Christians. No.
But by the logic you just used, like, how are they not Christian? They
Because
believe in the same entity.
no, they don't. They tell you that, but that doesn't mean that that's what they do. When you actually look at the understanding of the Roman Catholicism as a whole, as the history of it, how they carry themselves, as a people, not only do the Pope, who lives in a blasphemous, heretical type lifestyle, not only does he live that way, and you can look at it, look at the Bible, look at his lifestyle, it does not match. Secondly, the history of Roman Catholicism shows you, and they tell you, they do not worship God. They take some of the Christian beliefs as tenets, part of their tenets, and they stamp Christianity on it, but underneath all of that is all paganism and Satanism. They tell you that up front. You look at what they're doing and you compare that what the Bible does, which you don't do, Albatross. That's why I said they're not Christians, because even on the outside, when I wasn't a Christian, I understood Roman Catholicism was satanic and evil because of what they do. The fact that
Look, I'm not saying they're not assholes. Believe me, they are. But, you know, they do believe in Jesus Christ.
that doesn't
to
make
me, constitutes being a Christian.
Okay, so wait a second. Satan is in the Bible, and Satanists believe that Satan is a literal God, which is in the Bible. Does that make them Christians now?
That's not what I'm saying.
No,
Yeah,
that's exactly what you.
I want to continue this, and then we'll delve into that a little further. But I just want the point of this video being made to be clear. Let's go on with it. Okay, we're gonna skip this.
I wanted to go ahead and share that with you. A Satanist performed for the city council in Pensacola. So, I mean, obviously you saw the clip. This is pretty crazy. So, to the people who don't understand the spiritual realm, this might not seem like anything significant. I mean, in a sense, if you think about it, in America, they do have the right to freely express their religion. But that doesn't really matter. The real problem here is that the spiritual realm is absolutely real. The Bible says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. And many of the Satanists don't believe in a literal devil. But their belief doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that they don't believe he's real. He is. So what they are doing is foolishly being deceived into invoking a very real enemy. An enemy that is going to bring about the destruction of America by completely turning the nation against God. And when any nation historically has done that, just look look at the Bible, God's judgment and wrath will fall upon the nation.
Yeah. Okay. So he doesn't know that he's being trolled essentially.
He's not being trollish. He's telling you exactly what I just told you. And I need
In that case, shouldn't God apply his wrath to like Sweden and Finland?
Yeah, the Nordic countries are highly secular, and they've done pretty damn well absent of religion.
You have an odd idea of what like doing well means, but okay.
Well, I mean, the God claims that it's going to destroy America, right?
God is going to pour his wrath upon every single country that forgets God and obeys not the gospel.
And what form does God's wrath take?
And what form does God's wrath take?
Yeah.
Well,
what are we talking about? Floods, plagues,
biblically speaking,
fires, pillars of salt, what?
No. I'm gonna put it like this because the Bible says that no one really knows the full content of God's wrath. Excuse me, because the Bible says, "Who can stand before the wrath of God if it's only kindled but a little?" See, when it describes his wrath coming upon the earth in the day of judgment, the people that are still going to be alive in all these different nations and stuff like that are going to be running to the mountains, and they're going to be crying out to the mountains and saying, "Crush us and kill us," so that because we are afraid of the wrath of God and we do not want to be seen during his anger. That's what people are going to say. They literally they're literally going to want to die because they don't want to face the wrath of God when he actually comes down.
So do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I've read the book of Job. If that's how he treats his friends, I'd hate to see how he treats his enemies.
No, that's not his friends that he's treating like that. That's his enemies. That's not his friends.
So I have a question. So what do you think of the repercussions of having rituals like this actually performed in a secular country like America? Like, what do you think are the supernatural repercussions of this if they're actually true?
The supernatural repercussions are exactly what the Bible says is going to happen. Evil is going to rule this world for a small season, and then God is going to utterly destroy all those who practice evil upon the world. He's going to destroy them with a great destruction. Everything.
And then the hell mouth will open, and the mayor of Sunnydale will become a giant worm.
Evil has always ruled this world, dude. You just don't see it.
No, it hasn't.
Well, whatever. Never mind.
I mean, it all depends on what you mean by good and evil and all that shit. I mean,
well, look at so
if
a guy who
hold on. I just want to finish my point, then you could give your answer. I mean, if evil is letting a group of people that don't happen to share the predominant view, like, give a ritual of their own, as opposed to the many others that already do, in a public space, then I guess that we're going to become evil, because that's all about what equality and democracy is, letting all groups be able to represent themselves.
I'm sorry. Okay. Let me get this straight. You're saying that because someone doesn't hold to a more popular view and they go against that, therefore that's considered what is that considered as?
Okay. What I'm saying is I'm going with the political aspect of this, right?
Okay.
If evil means basically giving another group, i.e. the Satanic Temple, a group of atheists who use Satan as a symbol for skepticism and reason and all that other stuff, a chance to express themselves in an equal space, in a public space. If that's evil, then we're on that road, because granting equal opportunity and time to another group and others, that's like the epitome of freedom and democracy. That should be considered good, but according to like Christianity and fundamentalists, like, that's evil. Like,
no, no. That's not considered evil. Like, it's one thing to where, you know, if I talk to another Christian and he has a minor difference with me about it's not even. It could be something political, but it really wouldn't matter between the two of us because, that's what's going on in the world. We already know that there's going to be evil and all this kind of stuff in the world. Now, what's considered evil is the fact that people like you and everyone else around the world, are seeing this as an okay thing, and you're not understanding the repercussions of why it's not okay. Freedom does not allow you to do evil things. Freedom is basically letting go of yourself and realizing you're not worthy to run your own life or run the life of someone else and be ran under the will of God, because he gives you true freedom. You don't know what real freedom is.
All right,
So, hold on, you're making the argument.
Wow, that's Orwellian.
Yeah, are you making the argument that
Well, Mario made this. So hold on, Mario made this. So let's hear what a little bit about his reasons behind it.
By America. I hate to say it, but this is the signs of the end. And mark my words, all of you Satanists out there, when the nation of America goes into complete chaos and never recovers, you are going to be responsible for invoking this. You're not going to put two and two together, of course, because you can't comprehend how the spiritual dimension functions. But let me tell you right now, what you are doing will bring swift judgment on the nation of America. This is not even the only problem. I just did a video recently warning an after-school Satan club is coming to your kids' elementary school. If you haven't seen the video, I'll leave it linked up.
Yeah, we already did. It was lovely last week. I mean, I
it's like
think
the YouTube version of Fox News.
yeah, it's lovely, right? It seems the project is moving forward pretty damn good. And
okay.
Oh my!
I have a question.
He just told you a Satanist cannot put that you Satanists cannot put two and two together, and that you're basically incorporating something that you're not going to be able to understand. It's
okay. Mac. Here's the thing. We're talking about TBC Mario, the guy who in high school took a shit ton of hallucinogens, like never recovered. Listen to Alex Jones, a well-known conspiracy theorist, not just helped him with his walk towards Christianity, his indulgences in conspiracy theories, and now that he thinks that the king of conspiracy theorists is in the Illuminati himself, he anything popular and secular is now satanic and therefore bad. Like this guy, I take everything this motherfucker says with a serious amount of salt to it.
Right.
Jesus Christ, I can't help.
And this guy has cried repeatedly, like on screen, whenever like the most benign, minute thing tends to bother or annoy him.
Right.
Here's the thing. I don't deny like his experiences. I know they have some validity to them, but I take it with caution and freaking scrutiny. That's why I look at him with a skeptical eye, because of the. You get me now?
You good, Tony?
Yeah. I got kid running around.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about the whole like this is the end thing. Christians have been claiming that since the advent of the religion. Still ain't happened yet, so yeah. Until then, we're gonna be using this satire to make a clear point in secular America. And more to the point, I think what actually led me to my walk to atheism in the first place is the fact that growing up, I was surrounded by religious satire. Friggin' Simpsons, Futurama, Family Guy, all that shit, South Park. It's not really all that surprising.
Yep. Corrupted your mind, destroyed your understanding.
Sure. Yeah, I'm corrupted. I'm evil.
Well, yeah, you are, but
I'm smoking.
You have to be. You just choose to be, but that's fine. I mean, you just need to repent and be born again. Same with the rest of it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that I tend to like empathize with other humans, help them when.
Yeah, because you don't know what empathy is.
Oh my God!
How the fuck? Jesus Christ!
Yeah, taking
not in a
my Lord's
biblical
name in vain.
sense.
That's like as if he did nothing but good to you. Yeah, just take his name in vain. Might as well.
Yeah. I apologize to you, Mike. I've just,
you don't need to apologize to me.
But
you need to apologize to God.
Well, he was included in all my apologies. Okay. Oh, you see now you're getting a little off there. Remember what I told you earlier? I agree with that one That one verse in the Bible, and the verse you quoted, or whoever quoted before about we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers and
Yeah, that was
principalities. Yeah,
Vision for
yeah, yeah. I have a grasp of that because, like I said, I don't vote. I believe there is some problem in principalities and the power, the people who rule us, whoever they are. But are they not flesh and blood? Are they something else?
No,
No, the people that rule over you, at least where this country is going and where all the other countries are going, no, there's not flesh and blood. There's a spirit over that. There's a
what?
principality over that.
Okay, see, I have a hard time understanding what you said. They're not flesh and blood because that says to me you're saying they're not human.
No, I'm saying that they're not controlled by beings that are human. They're not controlled by beings that are human. They're controlled by beings that are not.
So
They're,
so are they possessed by demons or something? Are they possessed by demons?
yes, that's
So
why when you look at politics and you look at all these odd societies that worship Satan, why do they do that? Why do they get all these orders from Satan and that's who they worship? Because
I
that's who
mean,
it's run
I mean,
by. So these countries are run by.
I mean, I think the simpler thing, the simpler explanation is that they're people with their own, like agendas, limitations, all that shit. Like,
Right, that are seeking to destroy Christians. Yeah.
not, it's not all about it's not no, it's not all about
They
Christianity.
destroy.
It's like it's like hold on,
everything.
hold on. It's not just about Christianity. Like that's a minute thing. I mean,
No, it's not.
it's usually resources that people claim to have a certain value that they take at the expense of other people. I mean, that's more. I know it's a bit of a generalization, but the point is there are simpler explanations, and assuming that there's some supernatural influence over all that.
No. It's not a. I mean, I agree with you on the fact that yeah, they're trying to take resources from you. Yeah, they're trying to kill you. They hate all the populations. They're trying to destroy them. They're trying to make the population. They're trying to control populations and make them lower. They're trying to eventually put an RFID chip in you so they can track you everywhere you go, can track your finances, can track your basically your life no matter what you do. I mean, they can do the odd thing is, and this is what you're not understanding. Every single thing that they do is calculated to destroy two things, and that's the Christians and Christian value, the Bible itself. That's what they're after, and that's what they're seeking to stamp out. Because as long as they can do that, you have no way of you have no foundation to stand on to the point to where you can stand up to them and they not control your mind, because everything you pointed out is something that they're doing to you.
I'm gonna say this thing. I'm gonna say this thing really quick, and I'll let everyone else jump in. Right? This is just down to numbers. The majority of people that work in the House and the Senate are Christian, and absent of sort of dancing to the tune of the evangelical Christian vote, you're not going to be the president of the United States in this country. So I mean, I'm not going to lie that like the secular movement have done a lot of cool things as well, the Satanic Temple, but that being said, I doubt like Christian privilege will end anytime soon. Anytime this kind of stuff happens, like what TVC is talking about, usually it's seculars getting that bit of inclusion for the sake of equality. But moving on, Avatron, what you were trying to say?
I just want to say, if these people are trying to destroy Christianity and the Bible, I'd like their mailing address so I can send them a gift basket.
All right.
Me too. I'm sorry. I'm just sitting here. You sound as crazy as Mario. Is it just me? Is it just me?
I mean, I'm not gonna. I wouldn't say he sounds crazy. I just think he's really paranoid, and that like no one is trying to wipe out your faith, dude. Like you've got religious freedom in this country.
Okay,
anytime you see groups like the Satanic Temple out, all they're asking for is an equal time in public space.
Oh no.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So okay, wait a second. Wait a
All
second.
about to destroy you, man. You're not in
No,
an
no, no, no,
Islamic
no. Hold on.
country.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Now, are you going to say that for just this country, for all countries?
Well, I mean, I was just about to say Islamic countries. You're not in that. I mean, if you were in that, I'd give you a reason. I mean, they suck. Like that.
Okay.
That'd be a good example. But absent of that, I mean, you're pretty much safe.
I'm like what?
Yeah, you're safe. You're in the
I'm
first
safe.
you're in a first world country with religious freedom. That's what I just said.
Okay. First of all,
Yeah, theocracies suck. That's a point.
yeah, no. Well, depending on which one you're talking about, yeah, but no. See, you said, oh yeah, you're safe in the United States, and because there's religious freedom. Yeah, okay, for now. Why do you? I'm just curious.
For now?
How many?
What do you mean for now?
Yes, for now.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Well, as a street preacher myself, there's legal rights.
Are you G-Man?
No.
No.
So anyway,
No.
as a street preacher myself, there's legal rights for things that, based upon my based upon what I follow, which is the Word of God. There's legal ramifications to what I do. If I were to preach the gospel, in certain areas, it is illegal for me to do it.
Okay, yeah.
Now, if I have religious freedoms and, there's separation of church and state, why is it illegal for me to preach the gospel in certain areas if that's my legal right and they can't violate that?
One quick question. Do you have to get a permit to do that? Do you have to get
Do I have to get a permit to do that? No.
No, in certain areas.
No.
No, in other areas,
if it's not
you would get arrested if you did that. You
Yeah.
would, if street preaching, and so
I've gotten arrested before street preaching. Yes.
you can't even go to that municipality and get a permit to do that, or have you checked?
No. It's called disturbing the peace, and it's considered it's even though they're violating my constitutional rights, their legal ramification is that if people complain about what you're doing, they have their officers have the legal right to say that you're disturbing the peace, therefore we're going to have to detain you. Even though the Constitution protects you disturbing the peace.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. It depends on where you are and
Correct. You're in the public sphere. You're in the public sphere.
Okay.
If you're in the public sphere, they can't touch you, even though they did.
Okay, sure, but if it's someplace like tax funded, they can actually potentially make a point.
No, it's only in private areas.
Against that, because
it's only in private areas.
It was a what?
It's only illegal to do that if you're on private property. Like, for instance, if I go to someone else's home, and let's say if I was preaching the gospel in front of their lawn, legally I can't do that.
Okay, but
unless the person at that home gives me permission to do so because it's their property.
Okay, if it's a tax-funded place like at a library and you start doing that stuff, I'm pretty sure they could ask you to be removed. Because like with regard to how the Constitution runs, Congress makes no law that respects the establishment of religion. So if you are at a certain place that's like a library, someplace tax-funded, they can ask you to leave or have you be removed. So there's that. I'm just throwing that out there. That could be a reason, but yeah, that's the whole reason why that exists. It's sort of like I remember this one conversation I was having on the Bible Thumping Willing Nut show, right? It was afterwards, but they were arguing, hey, why can't we preach the gospel at work? Why can't we talk about Christianity? Because it has nothing to do with your job. I mean, if you did talk about it, you'd be fired. I mean, imagine if a Muslim started talking about their religion on the job, or a Buddhist, or a Scientologist. Would you like that?
I wouldn't mind talking to. I'd convert them too. I would tell them about the gospel too.
Yeah,
I don't.
Well, I mean,
the reason.
Even if you have that, here's the thing. Even if you have that, I mean, even if you're comfortable with that, that has nothing to do with your job. So, I mean,
So
it's
what? If they give you a lunch, they have no reason to say anything about that. I mean, the only reason, and this is the only reason, because I work for a job to where they are keen on that. You can't even talk about homosexuality. You can't say it's wrong, even though I am so tempted to do so. But because the job that I work at, you can't say nothing about homosexuality. You can't say nothing about politics. You can't say nothing about religion unless the person.
Those are all distractions.
Say what?
Those are all distractions. They have nothing to do with your work.
That's not why they tell you to not do it.
Yeah, on their property and what have you. If you go to McDonald's and you sit quietly in a corner somewhere and discuss with one of your coworkers Jesus Christ, and you don't cause any disturbance, nobody's got a problem with that, unless they're sitting right behind you or beside you, and then they might have a problem. But if
so what? They're not supposed to say anything to you if you don't work there. Now, if you work there, even then, as long as you're doing your job, they're not supposed to say anything to you.
Well, yeah, as long as it's not a distraction, as long as you're not, you're asking like everyone to attend like a sermon and everything on the job.
So, like, for instance, like if they allow you to play music and you play, it's kind of ironic because if you start playing gospel music, they'll tell you to turn it off, but if you tell them to turn the music that they're playing off, they won't allow you to do that.
You got headphones, right?
So what?
I mean, you could enjoy it, but
if I can't use my headphones, and they don't allow me to use my headphones, and I have to listen to that mess, why should I? That goes against what I believe. Are they gonna stop? Are they gonna turn the music off because of that? No.
No.
That's my point. So why should I have to turn the music off because of what I believe? And this is the song I like to listen to.
Because it ain't kosher.
No one's saying that you can't enjoy the music. It's more of the point that if you personalize it for you, then that doesn't disturb anyone else or distracts them from work.
See, the reason why they even have clauses and all these different laws and stuff like that on your job, so that excuse me, let me try to be, real with this. The reason why they don't want you to do that is because they don't want you to offend nobody. We got the homosexuals, we got the transgenders, we got the people who live in secular society. They don't want to hear the Bible. They don't want to hear the Bible. As a Christian, I don't see what the problem is. I wear a Jesus jacket, literally, that has scriptures on it, just to prove a point. You can't, and I'll do that on my job, even though they say that they don't like discrimination.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's all about equal opportunity, so that's sort of made like the paramount thing over anything else. But let's continue the video.
Okay, equal opportunity. That's definitely the reason. Okay.
Yeah.
Description section. These Satanists from the Satanic Temple are trying to shove this satanic philosophy down the throats of everybody. And they think this is an evolved way of being. I did a video where I basically challenged people who believe the Satanic Bible. I'll leave that linked up in the description section to show that it's a really foolish philosophy, just at a very basic level. It's a philosophy that teaches that you should get your own. Jesus Christ taught a high level of wisdom, one that human beings cannot even achieve without the spiritual empowerment of the Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit. And it taught us to turn the other cheek, to love one another, and even to love our enemies. But Satanists, as I pointed out, are nothing more than little boys and girls who cannot maturely handle life. So they get calloused, they get hurt a lot of times with daddy issues, and this manifests in a very childish, selfish philosophy of life, and they call that Satanism. But at the end of the day, they don't even believe Satan exists. But that doesn't matter. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled on humanity was convincing them that he doesn't exist.
Yeah, I would say that that's sort of like an inherent contradiction in there. You're sort of assuming Satan exists to say that there's a trick played on us to even begin with. So I mean, that's sort of like an extra assumption in there.
No, what does Satan mean?
Hmm?
What does the word Satan mean?
He who delivers presents.
Yeah, I think
What?
the accuser, I believe. The accuser.
Well, that's one of his names, but that's not what the word Satan itself means.
How about
Prince of Darkness.
Lightbringer?
Lightbearer,
No,
that's Lucifer.
That's Lucifer.
Well, who was Lucifer if not Satan?
Lucifer.
Lucifer.
Oh, gosh. Lucifer is a title that Satan wants to have.
Lucifer is a title. You mean Lightbringer is the title that he wants to have because he was created Lucifer.
He was created. No.
In heaven, he was Lucifer.
No, in heaven, he was not Lucifer. No.
Oh, he wasn't? Then when did that come in?
You're talking about Isaiah 14, where it's making it's making fun of him in a sense that it's saying that he wants to be a light bearer.
I'm not sure.
And apparently Satan means enemy or adversary.
Yeah.
Right. So this adversary, this person, this being, is called the deceiver in multiple places. He's called the old serpent. He's called the accuser of the brethren. That's what he is. So if this being in its entire entity pertaining to its character, if he's a deceiver of mankind, why do you not think that Satanism is not involved with deceiving people? If the entire character of what they're trying to emulate is doing exactly that.
Well, in a way, I would have to agree.
We just think it's cool, honestly. I mean, it's just it's a cool symbol. Like, just look at the video.
Oh boy.
Well, the first time I heard that it was David Bowie, I was like, this doesn't seem like Bowie's style.
Is that a Walt Disney clip?
No, that's a David Gilmour video, Rattle That Lock. It's based
That would
on
not be surprising. That would not.
John Milton's Paradise Lost.
David Gilmour.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to be part of, well, still is part of Pink Floyd.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay.
He was the guitarist.
Oh.
Yeah, so the angel falling from heaven and becoming Satan, that's what it's depicting.
I wonder if the animator is the same person who did some of the animated sequences for The Wall.
That's pretty trippy. I liked it.
Leave it to an actual. My goodness, that's oh gosh, that's so bad.
Well, what's wrong?
Good animation though.
Let me figure this one out. Let me just ask this question: do you even understand some of the symbolism that's in that?
Well, I mean, I did say
No,
that
but I like the drawing.
I did say that it's John Milton's Paradise Lost, which depicts the fall of Lucifer from heaven and becoming Satan and corrupting Virgin Earth. So I kind of get it, just a bit.
Ah, okay. Well, at least you get that concept. It's just the irony of it is that, you know, you see all these dead souls supposedly in there, and they're chained and they're taken down to this place that they can never get out of, and it's in total darkness. At least in that part that they got right. Sadly, they just didn't get anything else right. But I'm not going to blame them. I mean, they're trying to make
I
the
mean,
place
they
like
depicted hell, pandemonium, which obviously it's what it's what my kind of hook on YouTube is, like my the name of my podcast. It also shows Satan sort of bringing like freeing humanity from being in the Garden of Eden and all that stuff. So it pretty much, I think it gets the main point. What do you guys think? Albatross, Tony, what you guys think?
I'm glad you're not asking me. So, okay.
I'm saying much to the symbolism. I was just admiring the art.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, I gotta actually get to bed, so I'm gonna go. Thanks for having me. It was nice seeing you all.
No problem, man. And anytime you want to do that feminism thing, we can get on that.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll see if I can make some time for it this week.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Okay, later, man.
Repent, Albatross.
So what negative symbolism you noticed in that?
Well, you know, it's funny because you have this idea that well, they're trying to portray this idea to you that Adam and Eve were not considered free when they was in the Garden of Eden. And, you know, that's the deceit behind what Satan is doing. Satan is showing you, Satan gives you a doubt of God in God, that he does not give you true freedom when you actually obey him. But in fact, it's the opposite. When you actually leave God, you're in slavery.
I mean, it was only until after they took the like the fruit of the tree, like they became enlightened and sort of moved away from their faith.
But why?
I mean, they knew more about themselves. You know, they became enlightened.
No, they didn't.
Enlightened to their nature, and they essentially became they doubted basically.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I got from it.
Yeah. So, how can you know more about yourself from a being who never created you?
I wouldn't even say it's the knowledge that creates us, the knowledge that makes us who we are. So like it's only studying that you could truly come to the knowledge of yourself. And that's the lesson I got from it. Be skeptical, like doubt that which you don't have any evidence for it, and look to that where there is evidence.
Now that I just find that kind of ridiculous, because I don't know where you're getting it from or who you're getting it from, but I don't see how this is helping you. You're trying to get knowledge from people who don't have knowledge, not compared to the one that where Adam and Eve got it from. They had knowledge from God, yet they surrendered that. They surrendered true intelligence, true freedom, true authority under a being that was lesser than they were.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, they all, like this God said that that they would die if they took the fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't. Yeah, upon taking the fruit, they didn't die. In fact,
They did die.
In fact, they lived long, prosperous lives and stuff.
No, they did die.
Like what? Like 1,000 years or so later.
Yeah, surely in that day ye shall die if you take of the fruit of the.
Right.
In that day.
Yes, they did die in that day. Yes.
Like
The day they took of the
not
fruit.
on the same day. Not on the same day. They obviously lived a population.
No, Wolf. They did die. See what?
See,
you
that's the
guys
problem
felt-
I have with the Christians.
Like what? Like spiritual
You
death.
want to change it around, man.
I'm
It's
not
what
changing it around, man.
Like a spiritual death. Is that what you're gonna go to?
Exactly. If you read the Hebrew, which you guys don't, see, this is what you guys won't do. If you're confused about something, go to the original language and understand what it actually means when they translate it from English, because in the Hebrew, this is how it's what it translated from. In that day, you will die. Die.
Okay. So by spiritually die, you mean you'll lose your faith, basically.
In that sense, yes, you'll basically be separated from God.
Okay.
Yes. So that's spiritual death. Spiritual death is separation from God. The second is physical. And that's what happened. They physically died after that. Because without the soul, the body cannot live.
Only like 1,000 or so years later, apparently.
Well, yeah,
or
about
however,
900 and something.
However you're dating those characters in the Bible.
How am I dating those characters in the Bible?
No. I'm not asking. I'm saying like it said that they lived long lives and they died at court, based on whatever interpretation you're taking on those characters in the Bible. But
yeah, they died.
But that's the whole thing. I mean, at best you're just like losing your faith. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're dumping something that's sort of irrelevant to you understanding yourself.
No, they had an understanding, and that's why they were ashamed. You can't be ashamed of something you don't have an understanding of.
All right, Wolf. Thanks for the invite, man. It's been real.
Yep.
Later.
Bye, Tony. Repent. Get right with God.
I mean, the way I see it is, man. Honestly, is okay. Like people, right? They make up their society, right? They have a good understanding of how their behaviors work, how they function, and the factors that sort of surround them in the universe. All right. Mm-hmm. They're aware of themselves. They understand it like that, and they do that and go through life. That's I don't see that as like a bad way to live. I think that's pretty well informed and just pretty well to do. I mean that's sort of like what God's created in the first place as a species. I mean in the last century alone, we've managed to double our lives while religions for thousands of years claimed a second life. I mean, religion promises, science delivers. This is how it is.
All right. The sad irony is that when God created man and he told him to be fruitful and multiply, and even after they ate from the tree of knowledge and good and evil, and they were going to physically die, science ain't got nothing on what God created when he initially created man. Because he initially created man to live extensively, like very, very long, to where 1,000 years to them is nothing, and we can barely get to 200 as a whole population. Actually, we can't even get to 200 as a population. We've
only managed to get to like 120 with a French actress. Like I think who lived 122.
Right. So, and these people were living 900 easy. And you think science really is like just overcoming the very thing that God created us to live naturally? Really?
Well, I mean, the whole Adam and Eve thing, as well as a number of other cultures have forged over the years, are longevity myths, right?
No, they weren't longevity myths.
No. Well, they are. They are. Like, I mean, people have claimed that there are individuals in history that have lived like thousands of years, if not hundreds of years, hundreds, if not thousands, actually. And all all of them have been not being able to have been verified by science. As far as we actually understand, the oldest person to have ever existed was estimated about to be a French actress about 122 years. Maybe a source
Well,
for
they
that.
said that they found people that was actually older.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, those are all longevity myths.
And could be. But the problem that you're going to have to face with that is that you would have to try to verify that. Why again, if it's a longevity myth, why is it so difficult for these people to disprove?
I mean, it's not that it's impossible to disprove. There haven't been any really good verifications beyond that French actress that I mentioned. I mean, as far as like how populations work, they have density dependent factors and density independent factors that all impact a population. You know, there are limiting factors to this, you know, in terms of growth and all that stuff. So it's not hard to understand that in terms of having the right resources, a person might live just a bit longer, but it's not going to exceed a certain time. And in our case, it's usually, at least with our advances right now, medically and agriculturally, you have like at least 60 or so, maybe like 80 if you like you exercise and shit. But other than that, yeah, like that's all of that. They're just divergent longevity myths. Like there's the people of the Chinese East that say they lived hundreds. There's some people in America they said they've lived to be like 200 or whatever, and lots of stuff all around, all been able to be falsified.
I don't think they can falsify that because oddly enough, all of these cultures that are, you know, old and you know have a very long foundation in the in history, like the Aztecs, Incas, a lot of the American Indians that we know of today. You know, a lot of these cultures, even in, you know, Africa or places in Europe and stuff like that. Just a lot of these old cultures that have been around for a good while, and their culture really has not changed much since that time. Oddly enough, why is it that they have various similar things that should not be there if these cultures are as divergent as they're supposed to be? If they're so separated from each other to where it's not like they can get information from each other pertaining to one another's culture, why is it that they seem to have the same thing pertaining to people who lived long lives? Things about, I don't know, catastrophic events that all seem to be similar. I mean, these things cannot be made up, and you can't say that they're just longevity myths.
I think you can say that because here's the thing. I mean, back in that day, people didn't really know like how lifespans worked and how certain factors and things regulate how long a person lives and stuff like that. More importantly, modern science indicates various ways in which genetics, diet, and lifestyle affect it, and it allows us to determine the age of a human remains with a fair degree of precision and accuracy. So,
well, I would agree. I would agree in that in your in the understanding of the scientific method that, you know, you can study the bones of a person and all that stuff. That back then, you know, people in ancient cultures didn't have that. But it doesn't help you much considering that neither you nor the scientists that you can appeal to that, you know, go into the understanding of the human anatomy and the biology of mankind itself. Not one person can produce something concrete to say why a human being can or cannot live to be this long, or why we even die in the first place.
I mean, well, I would disagree. I mean, I already said it depends on a certain number of factors that could determine like how, like in the age of a person and how old they could actually be. I mean, before like the cells and their body break down, that's sort of like how like living beings operate and sort of regulate themselves, right? But yeah, I think we have enough evidence to say that like at least we can understand how how old humans can live, and given a certain number of factors. I mean, yeah, I understand that there's much more to like understanding like how certain factors can help us live a good, happy, healthy life. But
Mhm.
that being said, but I think it's enough to be skeptical of ancient claims like scattered across several different cultures and all that. But yeah, listen, I'm gonna have to get off though. I have a meeting to get to, so I'll see you later, man. Yeah, it's
All
gonna be
right.
it's gonna be my birthday next weekend, so I gotta make it proper. Gotta make sure what movie I'm gonna go to, and what strip club I'm gonna rave at.
Right. Well, happy
All right.
birthday. Hopefully you get right with God and be
Yeah,
born
I don't
again.
think so. But later, everyone. El Satan. Oh, and later.